Alright guys, we are in the Mark 7 GTI. This is a performance pack. I'm taking a trip down memory lane. I just got out of the Honda Civic Type R and I wanted to see how this thing feels and compares and is on track. So far so good. I forgot how good this Mark 7 is. It is really a nice car. Compared to my Mark 6, this is responsive. It's just a little bit sharper. And of course it has a lot more power. The GTI is the one Volkswagen where I would really say the manual transmission is the best transmission. It is, the DSG is good, but you know, this manual is crisp, it shifts really well. It's a sweet manual transmission. The pedals are set up nicely for heel and toe. This is just a great all-around car. With that front limited slip differential, you get a lot of power and acceleration out of corners. The car feels really good. This is so much better than the Mark 6 was. This latest generation is a very good GTI. What is this guy doing here? I think it sounds good too. It's got just a little bit of an induction noise, which is still probably artificially piped in, but it sounds nice. Front end really darts in with that limited slip. It adds just so much more dynamic of a character to this car on track. It's no slouch with 220 horsepower. It still feels quick. It's nothing near the Civic Type R, but man, it is sweet to drive. I've forgotten how good these are. I think a lot of people have forgotten about the GTI, at least in the automotive journalism world, just with all the new stuff that's coming out these days. But it's still so good. It's still very relevant in the performance hot hatch market. It's probably one of the best out there. And I do honestly prefer the GTI a little bit to the Golf R. I think it's just, you still get a lot of performance. It's still very dynamic. And it's just a little bit more connected and more fun to drive. For some reason, the manual transmission in the Golf R just doesn't quite cut it. It's slushy. It doesn't have the notchiness. It's a little bit too light to the touch, whereas this really nails it on the head. This Mazda 3 is missing every single apex. This is a good example of how not to drive this track. Get a little bit of a power fall off at the higher revs, but it's not too bad. It still pulls pretty hard up to 7,000 RPM, though you could probably get away with shifting at 6 and not really lose much power. Really nice package. Car feels great, no complaints. I'm still impressed with the GTI after all these years. What Would I buy one over a Civic Type R? Probably not. But if I wanted a kind of the ultimate performance daily driver, this fits the bill. I know my Mark 6 just did. I just got a little bit bored of that car. The Mark 7 is so much better, though. It really is a good package. The things I didn't like about my 2010 were that the brakes didn't work on track, and it didn't have a front limited slip differential. I wasn't really too concerned about power. Throttle response wasn't awesome in my car, and they fixed all of those things with this new Mark 7. I don't know about the brakes. I can't report on that, but I do know that the performance package does have larger brakes. I think they're from the Golf R. So that's good. And I love the steering wheel in these cars too. It just feels ergonomically great. It falls to hand really well. Just feel with just free revving the car how much better the throttle response is. You used to do that in an old GTI and you wouldn't get any of that. Cool. There you go, guys. Always glad to get back into a GTI, especially the performance pack. It's just such a sweet package. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Sorry it wasn't the best hot lap around the track, but you get an idea for what the car feels like and my impressions as well. Take care. We'll see you guys in the next one.